The new crypto bill in the United States Congress is the most comprehensive yet. Unexpectedly, a US politician who has previously shown little interest in Bitcoin has filed what could be the most comprehensive legislation to govern the sector to date. Representative Don Bayer's TVA bill would, among other things, give the Treasury Secretary the authority to reject the introduction of stablecoins, direct regulators to define regulations for decentralized finance, DeFi, and even create a charter for crypto exchanges. The 58-page Digital Asset Market Structure and Investor Protection Act, proposed by Bayer on Thursday, aims to establish a comprehensive regulatory framework for digital assets. It would accomplish this in part by defining which types of cryptocurrencies are securities and which are commodities, as well as increasing tax data collection for reporting purposes. As so, the law appears to fulfill the industry's long-standing yearning for regulatory clarity. Whereas previous bills attempted to handle these concerns separately, this one addresses them all at once. Even if some aspects irritated crypto enthusiasts, it looks to have been well explored. It's unknown what kind of support the measure has or when it might be passed, but its breadth and depth have raised alarms in crypto policy circles. It is extraordinarily thorough for a proposed legislation that suddenly sprang out of nowhere, and the authors certainly have an understanding of the underlying technology, said Mark Goldich, a partner at the legal firm Axler Goldich LLC. It will take some time to analyze and see how it might affect the business, and it will be interesting to see if this bill has legs, but this is the most well-written draft of crypto legislation to date. It also comes from an unexpected source. Bayer is the chairman of the Joint Economic Committee and a member of the House Ways and Means Committee, which oversees tax policy. His relationship with digital assets appears to have been marginal at best until now. According to public records, his top two funders in the most recent election cycle were the law firm Kin Gump and financial information provider IHS Markit, both of which have worked with digital assets but primarily in traditional lines of business. Bayer's office did not reply immediately to repeated queries regarding the bill. The bill also purports to empower the Federal Reserve, the United States Central Bank, to develop a central bank digital currency, CBDC, perhaps in reaction to Fed officials' assertions that they weren't sure they had the ability to do so under its existing mandate. Bayer's bill is the second legislative initiative centered on cryptocurrencies this week, as lawmakers in the United States grow more involved in the digital asset market. On Tuesday, lawmakers convened 3 separate sessions on digital assets. Many of the elected officials voiced suspicion about the industry or various aspects of it, citing consumer protection issues or potential threats to financial stability. A bipartisan infrastructure bill in the Senate now includes a provision that attempts to raise $28 billion by implementing a stronger set of information reporting requirements for cryptocurrency users than the United States already has. This concept, though, remains a tightly targeted component of the infrastructure bill. Bayer's plan, on the other hand, is all about cryptocurrency and would very certainly require a co-sponsor on a committee with market jurisdiction, Senate Banking or House Financial Services, to move forwards. Commodities versus securities. Bayer's bill would require the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, to more clearly clarify which components of the cryptocurrency market belong under their respective authorities. The first portion outlines where the SEC's oversight will be focused. If passed, the measure would define digital asset securities, which relate to cryptocurrencies or tokens that provide holders with any type of equity. If a token holder has a right to ownership, earnings, interest, dividend payments, or voting rights, the token would be classified as a digital asset security under the bill's definition. Tokens created as part of an initial coin offering, ICO, to support the development of a product or platform would also fall under this category. The bill would also include digital asset securities in the Securities Exchange Act of 1934's section on SEC registration and exemptions. The most crucial clause, however, is one on desecuritization. The section lays out a method for a token that is regarded as a digital asset security to become a cryptocurrency that is not considered as a security, mirroring SEC Commissioner Hester Peirce's long-standing attempts to create a safe harbor for crypto initiatives to get started. Registration of any class of digital asset security according to this paragraph or status as a security, or both, shall be terminated 90 days, or such shorter period as the Commission may determine, the measure states. According to Bayer's bill, the SEC should review any such application against the requirements for digital asset security outlined in the section. According to the law, cryptocurrencies that are not subject to the SEC's jurisdiction would be subject to the CFTC's. Prior to that, the bill would require these two agencies to publish a proposed rulemaking to categorize the 25 most traded cryptocurrencies and the 25 cryptocurrencies with the largest market capitalization, for a total of 50 cryptocurrencies, as securities or commodities. This information would be obtained from a suitable publicly available website, such as CoinMarketCap. Under the current language, it does not appear that the public or parties can dispute any such designation. Several other clauses, such as Securities Investor Protection Corporation insurance and broker definitions, address various areas of the U.S. securities regulatory structure. The second portion, which defines a digital asset security, focuses on the Commodity Exchange Act, which makes Bitcoin, Ether, and their hard forks, splinter currencies, commodities under the legislation. This would make it easier for exchanges to offer derivative products and crypto trading platforms to list and trade these assets. Stablecoins with permission. Another portion of the law thoroughly spells out how the United States should approach stablecoins, digital assets that operate as substitutes for dollars or other government-issued money, and appears to enable the use of a CBDC issued by the Fed. Issuers may face difficulties as a result of the stablecoin clause. Under its rules, the Treasury Department would have control and veto power over the production and use of all stablecoins in the United States. Beginning on the date of the adoption of this section, no person shall issue, use, or cause to be used a digital asset fiat-based stablecoin that has not been approved by the Secretary of the Treasury under subsection, according to the law. In other words, the measure appears to grant the Treasury Department the authority to limit trading in any and all stablecoins. Before deciding whether to approve the idea, the department would speak with the Fed, the SEC, the CFTC, and possibly foreign central banks or financial authorities. The bill also expressly forbids Treasury from grandfathering any stablecoins into its new regime, instead requiring all existing stablecoins to apply for authorization to continue functioning. They practically make it unlawful to not just issue but also use fiat-based stablecoins. It will be interesting to see how this is enforced and how it connects to algorithmic stablecoins, Goldich remarked. This has consequences for existing and rising initiatives such as Paxos, the Pax stablecoin issuer, and Circle, the USDC operator. Despite the bill's apparent resistance to private stablecoins, it does allow for a blockchain-based version of the US dollar. After consultation with the Secretary of the Treasury, the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System is permitted to deploy distributed ledger technology for the creation, distribution, and recording of all transactions involving digital Federal Reserve notes, the measure stated. The said notes shall be obligations of the United States, shall be regarded legal tender, and shall be receivable by all national and member banks, as well as Federal Reserve banks, for all taxes, duties, and other public dues. Anonymity is being violated. While the stablecoin provision is expected to be the most contentious, the bill would also require the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, to establish laws regarding cryptocurrency anonymity enhancing services. According to the bill, the purpose of the rule shall be to ensure that anonymizing services, money mule, and anonymity-enhanced convertible virtual currencies are not used to prevent association of an individual customer with the movement of a digital asset security, or virtual currency of which the customer is the direct or beneficial owner. This means that cryptocurrency exchanges or other companies would be forbidden from allowing consumers to use mixers or similar services, which would irritate privacy-conscious users. While the bill does not clearly establish restrictions for issues such as DeFi, custody, wash trading, trading platforms, or ransomware, it does direct several government agencies to study and publish reports on their findings. These reports would have to include regulatory proposals for Congress from the various agencies. DeFi, in general, is largely unaddressed by the bill, but the hammer may eventually fall, as the proposed legislation orders the Fed Reserve, SEC, Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, CFTC, and Treasury to submit a report summarizing DeFi in the United States and, among other things, provide recommendations regarding appropriate DeFi regulation and investor protection, and various legal obligations. The bill would also reduce the CFTC's actual delivery framework from 4 weeks to 24 hours, requiring an exchange to transmit possession of an item to a buyer almost soon after a transaction is completed. This transfer would have to be recorded on the asset's blockchain or on a CFTC-registered trade repository. This could be a problem for exchanges because it offers them less time to guarantee that a customer has full and exclusive control over any cryptos they've purchased than the CFTC's present guidance. Bayer's legislation would also establish optional federal charter for cryptocurrency trading and clearing platforms. According to the bill, these chartered entities would be subject to the Bank Secrecy Act, BSA, and other laws. Much of the bill repeats details from section to section, fixing potential gaps by modifying various statutes and directing several federal agencies to collaborate on rules. We hope you enjoyed watching and listening to this video. Please let us know your opinion in the comments area below. If you found our content useful, please like it and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell for more crypto-related contents.